Hi, I'm Conway Bowman, YETI Fly Fishing Ambassador. I get a lot of people asking me, what size equipment do I use for big blue water game fish? So I'm going to run you through that. And it's really big stuff. So I start with a custom one-piece fly rod. They're 8 feet, and they're a very heavy blank. So they would be the equivalent of, I guess, a 20 weight, I guess. But once again, they're one piece. They have a pretty flexible tip, but they taper down to a very, very stiff butt section, so you have a lot of lifting power. The other thing about this rod is, I'm going to show you, is I don't use traditional cork. I use Hypalong, and Hypalong is really great when you grip it over the duration of a long battle. If water gets on it, you don't slip around. Sometimes with cork that happens, your hands will slip. So the Hypalong provides a great grip. The other thing that I do is I extend the fighting butt, which is from here to here. And that is so I can put it into a gimbal and I can reel the fish and have a lot of leverage. So there's a lot of lifting with these big fish I catch. So you're doing a lot of, they call it short stroking. So you're reeling the tip into the water and you're lifting. So this provides a lot more leverage for you. The other thing that I do is I sort of customize the reel seat. I move the reel seat forward. And so what I do is, before I make these rods, is I figure out my most comfortable spot to where my hands are, where I'm going to provide the most leverage for my reel handle. And so that means I move everything forward, so I can have the maximum amount of reel power without expending a lot of energy. A lot of times with fly rods, the reel seat is set way back, and you're kind of back here like this, and it's really awkward. So over the course of a lot of years of catching big fish on a fly, I've realized if I move that reel seat forward, it works out really well. I use floating lines. On this reel, I've got 500 yards of gel spun backing, and then on top of that, I've got 30-pound Dacron. Once again, floating line, a 5-foot piece of stainless steel leader, and a really big fly. This is a surface fly. This is a popper. This is when I'm targeting really, really big mako sharks, fish that are probably north of 300 pounds, which we are seeing a lot out here in recent years, out here in San Diego. But the other thing is, I'll show you these other flies that I use. So that fly is for like the big mako, but if you come over here, these are the ones that I use pretty much day in and day out. These are my workhorse flies. They're still pretty big, and these flies you would use on marlin or sailfish. But what makes them great is they're tied on tubes, and a tube fly is great for fly fishing big game fish. And the reason why is because when you hook the fish, the tube slides up the leader, and the hook is back here. So during the release, it's a much cleaner release. You're not dealing with a fly tied directly to a hook where you're trying to battle. You're trying to get that release stick right in the corner of the fish's mouth with all this stuff in the way. What the tube fly does, it slides up the leader like this, and you get a clean release. And that's really important when you're targeting mako sharks. When you get a big mako shark to the boat, you want to have that release happen as quickly as possible, because if it doesn't, things can get pretty crazy. So these are 10-aught hooks, stainless steel leader, tube fly, and then I top that off with a barrel swivel. And that's basically the rig right there. And I'll tell you, when you're targeting big game fish on a fly rod, it really changes the game in terms of your tackle. You need a stout rod, you need a sturdy reel that can handle a lot of backing and fly line, plus it needs about 18 to 20 pounds of pressure, drag pressure. When you're targeting big blue water game fish on a fly, it really changes the game in terms of your tackle. You have to have a very stout rod. You have to have a reel that can handle enough line and backing capacity, and you need a reel with a very strong drag. So if you're looking to get into that kind of fishing, I would highly recommend go get a rod and a reel like I have, and hopefully you can get some big fish to the boat. Hope you enjoyed that tip.